Hello, friends. I am Chevee. Welcome to my shed. How are you today? How's life in your world? How's things where you are? I hope it's fantastic. Everything here is great. Had a good weekend with the kids, but well, there's no but. I had a good weekend with the kids. Um, we had move-in day for Roland. We had new softball team for Kai. We just busy weekend. Very busy weekend. And a busy week ahead of me, but that's okay. I don't mind being busy. We've been very busy lately, and I don't mind it at all. This is not from you guys. My shift knob on in my Focus broke, and it's been annoying me. So this is a replacement shift knob. Hopefully, I can figure out how to change it. Cool. This isn't terrible looking. Not fantastic, but anything's better than holding on to a broken shifter. My car's a manual, so a broken shifter is a problem. I don't like it. Anyway, I had a flash of inspiration recently, so I did a thing that I've been wanting to do for a while, and I'm working on it. And to be fair, I didn't do a thing. I had AI do a thing. Because this is a lot, and for a draft 0 prototype, I wasn't going to sit down and come up with this stuff. So I asked both whatever Google's thing is called and whatever OpenAI's thing is called to do this project. And Google's, I really liked the way that it was formatted, and the way, I'm not going to tell you what this is, but I really liked the way that Google did it. It just wasn't very creative. I found that the OpenAI thing generated much cooler content for me to work off of. So this is a thing that I'm working on. Maybe, I don't know. I got inspired. I've had this inspiration multiple times to do this sort of thing, and I have never really executed on it. So this is me. I had a flash of inspiration on how I could do this simpler, more simple than I was trying to before. And I think that's the key. I think simplicity is the key when it comes to game design. So this is a game. I should probably have pointed that out. This is an idea for a game that I've been holding on to for a long time. And I've explored it in various ways, and I've never continued with any of those ways. And this might be the way. So we shall see. This also might be something that just sits as a blinking cursor that I stare at and never work on again. I don't know, but I'm at least doing something with it. I've got the inspiration to see if I can make the system work, and if I can make the system work, then maybe I'll make the rest of it work. I don't know. But this brings up, this kind of ties into my today's topic, which is like, I used to do this sort of thing daily. Literally every day I worked on stuff like this. I worked on games. I designed games. If we do the Kickstarter next year, which honestly, I'm leaning towards just paying for it outright and just becoming a publisher and having 3 small card games that you can buy from me or from my store or whatever, instead of going through the Kickstarter process. I think I could personally fund like a 500 print run of each game and have a small inventory, and then I would just ship from here kind of thing. I think I would much more prefer that method than trying to go through crowdfunding and raise awareness and money, because I'm not really looking to do huge whatever. And not that I think my games would ever draw that kind of attention. Regardless, every day, that's what the title of the video is, and this is something that I used to do every single day. I didn't stop thinking about it. I worked on game designs nonstop. I designed those 3 games that I've talked about recently about putting on Kickstarter were games that they came out of the ether. Like, I just was working on games so often. I was designing 10, 12, 2 dozen games a week, something like that. Not necessarily completed ideas, but I was working on through ideas that quickly, very rapidly. And I was listening to a podcast today, and it was talking about a man who is a bird watcher, and he said that he goes and spends at least an hour a day, every day, in the woods. And that word, every day, when I hear it, it trips me up, because I want to know what you define as every day. There are things that I do in my life every single day. I eat every single day. I use the restroom every single day. I sleep every single day. And even I don't know if those are actual truths. And that's the thing. That's the question. Am I being truthful when I say that? Because does this man really go into the woods every single day for an hour? I don't know. Maybe he does. I don't know. But I can't think of anything besides breathing that I could say I have done every single day of my life. Because there have definitely been days where I have not slept in a 24-hour period. There have been days where I have not eaten in a 24-hour period. There have been days I've not used the restroom in a 24-hour period. Like, there's nothing that I could say I do every single day. But when you hear somebody say they do something every day or they do something all the time, how do you interpret that? Because I've always taken things very literally. I've always taken it that somebody says they go fishing all the time. That means that their thing when they're not at work is fishing. And I just, in my mind, I envision them doing nothing but going fishing because that's what they said they do all the time. Or that's what they said they do every day. I could say I do this show every weekday, and I think that's a truth. But the reality is I don't do this show every weekday. There's been less than 10, but I've missed episodes at least 6, 7 times. There's also been weeks where I've pre-recorded 5 episodes. So I didn't do it at all that week. I did it the previous week. Like, what is there like a sort of, I don't know. I don't know how other people think about these things. I think about these things in a very literal sense. If somebody tells me they go outside into the woods and listen to birds for an hour a day, okay, which hour? Like, do you have a schedule? Like, I think of it very literally. Not, there's a difference between saying, I regularly spend an hour in the woods, or most days I spend an hour in the woods. That word every day, to me, is a very concrete term. It means it's a literal term. But again, I can't think of anything I've done every day besides breathing. To be like, if we're talking like the entire span of my life. I could say there's things I've done every day for the last year. Sure, I could say that. And I could pick some things out because I haven't stayed up all night or whatever in a year. So, I'm curious how you interpret those kind of terms. And does it really matter? Does any of this matter? I don't know. I know we've had the discussion about people who claim they do a thing. Oh, I do that. And you're like, well, do you? Or have you done that twice in your life? Because doing something twice in your life, to me, it does not, I don't identify as, let me try to think. What's something that a good example? I guess landscaping. I wouldn't go say I'm a landscaper or I do landscaping because I've done my house twice, right? But other people might say that. Oh, I love doing landscaping. Or I do landscaping. To me, that means like that's your thing. That's what you do. I would say I do woodworking or I make things. Sure, that's a thing that I do. But it's not like, it's because I've spent the time. I've put the effort in. I don't have a lot of good examples in my life because I don't tend to do one-off things. But I hear people often say things like, I do that, or I do that all the time. Do you? Or, I mean, you just mean that recently in the past week you've done it twice? Because I don't equate those things. I don't equate you saying something that you just started doing and probably won't continue doing is something you do all the time. But maybe that doesn't freaking matter. Maybe I'm just being a pedantic asshole. Very possibly true. And it doesn't matter at all. I don't know. What do you think? I'd love to hear your thoughts about all of that. In the comments, I have lots of questions. Thank you guys. Tons of you asked questions last week. So I have lots of good topics for the week. Thank you. Keep those coming. I love them. If you have advice, questions, or whatever you want to know, please hit me up. Please. Thank you for being here as always. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing, being amazing friends and wonderful people. I really appreciate you. And I'll see you again tomorrow. Today's word you should know to sound smart is yeoman. It's an adjective and a noun meaning pertaining to or one who performs arduous tasks in a loyal and work-like manner. We promoted Helga to upstairs maid because of her yeoman work ethic. Yeoman, Y-E-O-M-A-N. I think does that not have a different naval term? Like I feel like that's a very naval term that I learned in the military, but I couldn't tell you what it means.